Hello, everybody. Welcome into Lettermen Row. It's another edition of BuckIQ. You know we're looking at the trenches. We've got the big guy right here, Reid Fragel, former Ohio State right tackle, NFL offensive lineman. 2 weeks for Ohio State now into the season. All 5 starting offensive linemen have been champions twice. You know that's not easy. What have you thought through a couple games so far?
Well, I'll be honest. Going into last week, I think after watching the second half of Week 1 versus FAU, I was a little bit nervous. I saw, Justin Fields take some hits that I think, even after last week's performance, that is still going to be a concern moving down the stretch here. But I thought they came out hot, and I think, to be honest, they performed a lot better than I expected after watching the second half. But it really looks like they're putting a complete product together week in and week out faster than I expected, at least.
At least, you hear it all the time that the jump from Week 1 to Week 2 is going to be maybe the most notable that you make. So if you had those concerns, you must have seen some things that you liked that were improved on Saturday against Cincinnati.
Yeah, and there's some things I think that we'll talk about today that they can still improve on. I mean, obviously every week, especially Week 2, you're going to have things you can improve on. But the O-line especially is just looking damn good. And seeing them pick up certain things, and there's things they're not picking up, but for the most part, obviously I watch the tackles, but within the interior guys too. But the tackles, Thayer, I thought he's doing a phenomenal job with his hands so far. His punch is really looking strong. And to see Brandon Bone out there, that's really something I hope we talk about today, because he's a fun guy that I've kind of been following the last 2 years, and to see him out there playing as well as he is really cool to see.
He looks like he's a kid in a candy shop out there again, just after 2 years of laying off. I mean, that's a feel-good story for Ohio State.
Absolutely, and it's good to see him kind of take the training wheels off and look like he's playing comfortable out there again, so it's good to see.
All right, we'll see how comfortable all 5 of those guys are. A bunch of touchdown runs and big plays for Ohio State to break down. Reid's going to look in the trenches for us right now. Let's roll the tape. All right, Reid, we're just going to focus on the touchdowns, the good stuff today. We can go back and do stunt pickups and crazy blitzes later on in the year, but I have a hard time picking clips for you, but I thought maybe the scoring plays would help, and because those big guys have to be playing a pretty big role for that. So what do you see here? This is Justin Fields scoring early on.
Yeah, scoring plays are not too difficult to break down. But yeah, this is just a really sound play. I mean, on the edges especially is where I obviously look right away, but your interior guys are all taking care of their business. And then obviously Justin Fields is going to do the rest with his feet. You have to honor the throw, backers drop, and it's just, that's too much space for a guy with that athleticism. This is the part, though, I talked about before. I don't like these hits he's taking. I know they're going to happen. I know it's part of the game, but I guess moving forward, I think I'm still kind of scarred from Braxton's era. I want to limit these hits on my quarterback as much as possible moving forward, because, to be honest, I don't know what the backup situation is currently like right now, if it's the same as Kenny Guyton when he came in. And
yeah, it's not.
So I guess that's where I'm at when I see plays like this. Yeah, it's all looking sound on the front line, on the line, but I'm more focusing at the end of the play here, seeing this hit, and that's what I referenced to earlier. And there's another hit this game that he was down for quite a bit. So these hits will happen, I get it, but I don't like seeing Justin Fields getting hit in any time.
Yeah, especially, you referenced that early on with the second quarter and third quarter against Florida Atlantic.
Yep.
You could tell Ohio State didn't want that to happen. Those hits he's gonna have to absorb some punishment throughout the year, and this is also part of the reason, because the threat of him running helps these offensive linemen, it seems like, on plays like this, and definitely helps J.K. Dobbins.
Absolutely. You got to honor the zone read option there. Defensive ends are kind of waiting for him to pull it and keep it himself, but that just gives the line that much more time. And even on a miss here by Brandon, it's still enough time for J.K. here to take it up. And, it's too much space for a guy, like I said before, a guy with that much athleticism right there. Good luck stopping that. He just goes in untouched. So
we talked about Bowen in that miss there. Is that what causes this? Is it
you see him leaning a little bit. He's kind of expecting a cutoff, I think, maybe, with the way that the defensive end is outside of him. He's maybe expecting that guy to go inside more, and he kind of loops outside. So you see him kind of fall forward a little bit. But even that, 2 guys outside in the same gap, you're going to open up that gap all day, and that's enough right there. So, yeah, it's a miss, but, it's something Week 2, a mistake like that will happen, but I'm sure he'll be a little more under control next time that situation arises.
All right, a couple touchdowns down, and Justin Fields, these guys were still rolling later on in the game. This was the big one here that I think people have been waiting to see Dobbins, and that hole was absolutely massive.
Yeah, and you're going to see here on the edge, it's just a good example of Thayer's hands and a good pass off between him and left guard there. Just textbook play right here, to be honest, and you can't really draw it up any better than this, and I don't know what that defensive end is looking at down that way, but it's just a good pass off there, though. And just to see him split that like that, it reminds me of the week 1 touchdown with Justin Fields splitting it and going down the field, the same thing. It's just, those are things of beauty that you love to see, and it's good to see this offense back and running those kind of plays and hitting them like they used to. I guess we didn't really see that in last year's offense too much, so it's nice to see spurts of that back again. You've
really seen these guys. I think, Jonah Jackson was credited with 9 knockdowns in week 1. Josh Myers had 6, and some of them are coming at the second level. I'm not sure if there's a great example on this play, but it seems like they're not only moving the line of scrimmage, but they're getting downfield a little bit and helping. Yeah, and I think it's just these guys they're gelling together in week 2, where, like I said before, I didn't expect them, I guess, to be playing this well together. I mean, I'm not saying I doubted the guys, but just this early on, to see them playing at this level, this communication right here between Jonah Jackson and Thayer, I mean, that's week 4 or 5 stuff that, they're sorting out in week 2 here. Granted, Cincinnati, and they were hitting on all cylinders in this game, but I think that's just a testament to the team as a whole. I think everybody's just dialed in and focused, and the communication amongst the O-line is at peak levels right now for week 2. All right, this last one we've got to break down for you, Reid. Maybe the best block came from a running back, and that can maybe get you excited a little bit. If you've got your tailback helping out like that, oh man, yeah, that's textbook chop right there. And but obviously, I'm again focused on the tackles here. Thayer out in space, beautiful crossover, and to see him get this cleanup block here with that cut block. I mean, it's a pretty good combo there.
And it's this whole highlight reel's been textbook plays for a coach. I mean, I would love to sit down on some of these plays that they go through, because they can't be getting nothing but praise, and obviously they did with the Champions Club. So.
Yeah. So you referenced on the top, there's got to be some things to clean up. What's the number one concern you have as Big Ten play starts Saturday?
Well, I think some of the stunts, we didn't show them on this clip, but some of the stunts you saw off the edge, the corner walking up late, and the tackle rifling out. We used to call it rifle if you watch on the edge. And that tells the guard you're going to go out and pick up the corner off the edge. And there was an instance or two where maybe Brandon Bowen and Wyatt weren't on the same page, or Wyatt kind of overcommitted on that DN and the corner loop back inside. That happened once or twice, but that's really minute things. It's week 2. You're going to have that stuff. You're only going to see that on film. These guys are going to pick it up, recognize it moving forward. But again, very impressed with this group right now where they're at week 2.
Week 2, so far so good for the Ohio State offensive line. Great to have Reid Fragel bringing that insight for us right here on Lettermen Row with BuckIQ. For Reid, I'm Austin Ward. We'll see you next week.